Hey there, how's it going? It's me, Amanda. Hi, nice to be here on a Thursday. So, I'm starting a new feature, a new weekly situation with my videos where it's going to be Thursday Thoughts, where I'm just going to pop in here and stay connected to you all and see what you're thinking about, but share also what I'm thinking about, what I've been thinking about for the last week. And hopefully the goal is that it's stuff that's on your mind as well, or things that you're grappling with, and it will help you somehow is the idea. So kicking it off here. So yeah, I'm an artist and a life coach, among many other things, and that's what I'm really using this COVID-19 situation, this quarantine, this shelter in place deal. I've decided to use that to really motivate me and push me and inspire me, because first of all, I see how it really impacted so many people in a negative way, and it just, something about that just really lights a fire under me. Like, I know I have value to contribute, I know that I can do something to help, and I really want to just fucking go for it. So that's part of it. Like, what can I do to help? What can I do to add? And then situations like this, like crises or things where the way we live is radically shifted in a big way. This was unprecedented. This situation is something we haven't gone through collectively before. And I think that this kind of time just really got me thinking about what matters, what I really want. And I just realized, like, I didn't come here come here as a soul, as a human. I don't want to be here to just get by, to just have these dreams and then stuff them down because they seem too scary or they're too hard or I'm not good enough or whatever kind of bullshit I tell myself. Something about being in a crisis like this, in an unprecedented global event like this, really got me like crystal clear and laser focused about, like, whoa, I have shit that I came here to do and I'm gonna fucking do it. It was kind of a wake up call, right? It's like now or never, I have to stay home more. So what am I going to create in this time? So it's been really cool and I'm really going for it. I'm really building out the business as a coach and an artist. And man, some shit comes up. I mean, that's sort of what you got to prepare yourself for when you decide to go for something. It's all very exciting and exhilarating and it's fun to dream about it. But when you actually start to do it, it flushes out all of your fears and insecurities and just all the shit. So I had a day yesterday where I just felt like shit. Like everything was coming up. I'm like, I don't have what it takes. I don't have what I need. I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of imposter syndrome came up. A lot of the not good enoughness, and just feeling overwhelmed by it all too. Like, I can make a to-do list that gets just crazy. Anytime, anything I'm doing, like, I can just think of a million things that I want to also do or that could be connected to that thing. And of course, starting a business, it feels like there's just this endless thing of things I need to learn about and things I need to be good at. And it's also very uncomfortable because a lot of this stuff I'm not very good at yet because it's new, and that's normal and that's fine, but it's just very clunky feeling and it's very exhausting. And I think I get frustrated because I'm like, I don't think I'm a stupid, incompetent person generally, but I kind of feel that way when it comes to learning all these new things all the time. Um, so yesterday it was just kind of a shit show in my brain, and I just let them all out on paper. If you've been watching my videos, I'm a huge advocate of writing. I have a morning practice where I write first thing in the morning, first thing after coffee, where I write stream of conscious for 3 pages. That's from Julia Cameron, The Artist's Way. And I've been doing it for years and it's great. And sometimes, like, the point of that is supposed to be to, like, clear out, to just dump all the shit onto a page so you kind of starting fresh every day. But sometimes I can use that time to put a nice spin on things or to give myself a pep talk, which has its place and it's fine and good. But yesterday I realized I really needed to just let all the petty, embarrassing thoughts out on the page. And they were just frantic. Like I shared with you, there was just a lot of gunk there. But then what was cool that I noticed that I did was, after I wrote that shit, I got up and proceeded to do my deal. Like, I had my to-do list, I had my tasks that I wanted to complete for that day, and I just fucking did them anyways. And that just really, I remember feeling like sitting back and being like, check me out. Like, there was just something where it really, you know how people talk about something moving from the head to the heart? I know that that's how that shit works, right? Like your feelings don't have to control your life. You don't have to believe your thoughts. Write it down to get it out and to get power over it and do the thing anyways, act yourself into right thinking, all those kind of things. But sometimes they just seem like good ideas up here and we're not really sure if they actually work or if they'll work for me or whatever. And there was something about yesterday, like seeing in black and white all the negative shit that I was having in my head and all the things I was afraid of and all the things I was stressed out about. And then just going ahead and doing my day anyways and making progress. And by the end of the day, I felt amazing. And there was something very powerful about realizing that I didn't have to let that shit own me. So part of it is just letting it out, like writing it, just be as petty as you need to be, as nasty as you need to be. Like the stuff I was writing about myself was really harsh, but it was in there and it needed to come out. And just that alone helps it come down a significant amount so that you can actually breathe and function and go about your business. And I think of them like whiny, needy little children that they just want some attention a lot of times. Like these negative feelings, they just want they want to tug on your pants and be like, hey, do you know that we're here? Like, do you know this is scary? It's your brain trying to protect you. It's old shit trying to just make sure that you're okay when you're doing all this scary, amazing stuff. And they just want to make some noise. And then if you give them a little bit of attention, they will like get distracted and go play somewhere else, right? And I think sometimes we get ashamed about our negative thoughts, especially like for me the other day, I was like, who is going to want me to coach them if I'm having all these problems? I was talking to my boyfriend, I was having a meltdown. And he reminded me, like, you're human. People do want to get coached by another human. And I was thinking, like, yeah, you're right. Like, I wouldn't want to get coached by someone that I thought just had it all together all the time. And really, that's who really inspires me, is people that have the real feelings and then they go out and they kick ass anyways. And that's what I'm trying to be here. I'm not trying to present myself as some perfect person who has it all figured out. Like, that's horseshit. I am absolutely in the mud and the muck working on all this shit with you all. And, I do have something to offer because I come through it and I have practices and exercise that I use on myself first. And then I'm like, oh, this shit works and I can use it to help someone else for sure. And then another thought that I had, and I'll probably wrap this up before it's even 10 minutes long. I've just been thinking a lot about the word allowance. And that kind of connects to what I've just been talking about. Like just allowing, how can we allow the negative, big, scary feelings to come up without getting stuck in them or wallowing in them? Because there was a time not too long ago where I would have written all that shit down on the page and I would have let that own me. My day would have been shit. I would have stayed in the onesie all day. I would have eaten my emotions. I would have just... it would have been a write-off, and I might have called it self-care, but it would have really just been me feeling completely defeated and needing to just kind of collapse in on myself for a day or two or a week or more, right? So this idea of allowing is really powerful, I think, and it's been rolling around in my mind since I read in a Richard Rohr book recently about how God is the great allower with a capital A, and something about that was so comforting. It's not that everything is necessarily ideal or the way we want it, but there's something about just letting it be there and then deciding where to go from there. And I've been thinking a lot about what I want to allow more of that maybe I've been holding at bay. So this shows up really strong when it comes to letting myself be loved. I've mentioned my amazing boyfriend on here before, and it has been wild to feel how tough it is to let true, good, healthy love in. I had so many walls and defenses built up around it. It's almost funny, but it's also kind of sad to realize like how much easier it was for me to accept shitty behavior and shitty circumstances than it has been to accept love. Like it just brings up all my self-worth stuff and all this. It's like physically painful to let that in, but I'm letting it in and that's good. And I have that intention of allowing that to be and allowing myself to be the kind of person that receives that. So I'd share that because it kind of surprised me that would be work to do. And so if you're struggling with that as well, like understand you might be telling yourself like, why can't it be easy? Like it should just be so easy to let someone love me. But actually for me, I've experienced it to be quite challenging. And maybe that's just because I make it challenging. I don't know, but I've had to do intentional work to let that shit in. So that's what I'm working on. And then today was cool because I scheduled a play date with myself and I honored it. It was 20 minutes of pure, unproductive, non goal oriented play. So there's things that I do in my life that are fun, like a lot of the art stuff, but it has an end goal, right? Like, oh, I'm teaching myself this painting app so that I can be a better artist and make more money or something. But that wasn't allowed in my play session. The play had to be just completely like pointless. But it was really good to give myself that kind of attention. Like I do believe in this idea of like we can pay ourselves attention just like you would pay attention to a child. And it's really nourishing and nurturing and good for me and probably good for you too. So give it a try. So that was really good, trying to allow more of that into my life, allow myself to do those kind of things more often. And I also think that actually makes me a more productive person when I just have those times I call it moodling. I got that from an author, Brenda Euland, I think her last name is. She's awesome. But yeah, this idea of moodling where you just allow yourself creative space and we, you structure it so that it's just totally free and fun and clear of any hidden agenda or productivity or whatever. But actually it ends up making you more rested, more creative, more full of ideas, more just bringing more enjoyment into your life, and then that has good results in all areas of life. What else do I want to share with you before I let you go? I'm also experimenting allowing the things that I normally resist or hate or think that shouldn't possibly be allowed to exist. There is something very empowering about this, and I remember reading this a couple years ago, this idea of like, let everything that's happening around you act as if you chose it. And this kind of connects to the idea of acceptance, but I think there's something even deeper when we think about allowance. Again, this is that interesting area between, I'm not talking about being a doormat here. I'm not talking about just letting whatever happen and never taking action or defending anyone or fighting for a cause or anything, but this idea of coming from a place of like, I'm a powerful creator and I'm allowing this experience to be in my life and I'm allowing myself to be here with it as well. Now what? It's just been a game changer for me. And letting people be the way they're going to be, that's so beautiful too. Like being at odds with people in the world gets so exhausting. And there's something I've noticed when I practice allowance and this idea of like, you have to let people make their mistakes. You have to let people be obnoxious or difficult or do things differently from you. And I've just found that it touches into this tenderness or compassion that I can't access otherwise. And I like feeling that actually. Allowing the weather to be what it is. Like I gave up arguing with the weather a long time ago and it's been great. And it's so funny how many people are out there just like, oh, the weather. And it's kind of a low-hanging fruit thing to bitch about, but there's power in just allowing it, letting it be. And then that gives you room to see what there is to enjoy about it. Also allowing yourself to be where you are. And this kind of ties back to where I started. Allow yourself to be tired if you're tired, to feel sick if you're sick, to rest if you need it. Allow yourself to be imperfect, to be fussy, to make mistakes. And then allow your current situation to just be the way it is and trust that it's perfectly fine for you for where you are right now. Allow yourself to shine and to dream and to be big. I think every woman that I'm close to, and this is what I'm really passionate about in my coaching too, is what I want to help with, is so many people, myself included, have worried that they're too much. Like, oh, I'm too much. And people have told me I'm too much and I'm too loud and I'm too this and I'm too that. And I'm just like, let yourself be the biggest, boldest, badassiest version of yourself. And maybe that is too much for some people, but those aren't your people. So have your big goals and then allow yourself to fucking go for them. And that's what I'm doing. And I want for you as well. Allow yourself to get messy. Allow yourself to learn a new thing. Allow yourself to fuck it up. Like I don't believe there's any wrong decision ultimately. And I don't believe there's any such thing as a really huge, too risky thing unless in a few very small, specific set of circumstances. I do think that we can always change course. We can always reset. We can always start anew. And so you should really just fucking go for it. Yeah, kick ass with both feet. That's what we're up to here. So thanks for watching. And I will be back Saturday with a video related to the COVID stuff. I have been talking a lot about noisy neighbors. And I thought as long as we're still in quarantine and sheltering in place, I might still help out with that. or maybe there'll be a new topic that's related, but I do want to keep that extra content coming for you guys while this weird stuff is happening. So, yeah, that is it. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.